have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And welcome into another episode with yours truly, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you to continue in our little mini series, I guess, for what we've been talking about and discussing, and that's your superpowers, your spiritual superpowers, I like to call them, that inner quality that you can develop. Those mental qualities, those mental faculties, or spiritual faculties, those intangible aspects of character that you can develop. And we all want to do this. We all want to work on these things because these are things that can have an impact and influence on everything that we're working to accomplish in our lives. This is just part of the work that we do to change for the better. Now, we're going to wrap this up today because I don't want to keep going with one thing and lose somebody because, oh, that's all he talks about. So that's not my intention here. My intention is to find and replace. Remember, this all started at the beginning of this year as we're looking at number one, what is the objective? What do you want to accomplish? What's beyond the New Year's Eve resolution? What's the big dream goal? What's the ideal that you want to move into this year? So we identified that. We went into the process of framing that the right way, deciding what it is, looking at our why, looking at why do we want what we want. And we're looking at this in our lives personally, professionally, in our small businesses or in our corporate structure, on corporate teams, on the executive team, on any team within the organization. And we're doing this because we all want more. We all have some longing and discontent to experience something that perhaps was a dream and we put up on the shelf. So that's what this whole show is about. So as we started to frame up the dream in an affirmative statement, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, and then you get to fill in the blanks. We started looking at those intangible aspects, the ones that we've been discussing over the last few episodes that will wrap up today. And those are faith and strength and wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, life itself, imagination, I already said that, memory, intuition, reason, perception, and the list goes on and on and on. We can add to it, but we want to be mindful of all of this. And I say it every episode because repetition is the key to transformation. We want to be mindful of all of these qualities that are inherent in each and every one of us. Not only aware of them, but aware of our ability to develop them, just like we exercise a muscle. So by being aware of these, we can not only form affirmative statements around them like I've suggested you do over the last couple episodes, just pick one or two and form some affirmative statements that you repeat all day long, that you write out every morning, you write out at night, you go over them, you let them play in your head like an endless loop. You can even record them. Use your smartphone to record them, get a loop player, and they can play over and over and over again. I'm so happy and grateful. I radiate love to everyone I meet and greet. Just simple things like that. These just flow to me now because I've been doing it for so long, but the same thing can take place in your consciousness. and we repeat these, and we want to become aware of them, because as we're aware of them, we can integrate them into our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And we know the process of manifestation is thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. We have to establish the frequency. We have to match the vibration of what it is we want to experience in order to experience it. And this is one way we do that. Just think of that. Just think of that affirmation I just shared with you. And they're so elusive sometimes because I can just rattle them off. I'm so happy and grateful. I now radiate love, loving kindness and compassion to everyone I meet and greet. So let's just take that, repeating that and having that. And again, don't brush this off because you're saying, "Oh, I'm working on corporate goals." Love has no place there. Love has every place there. It belongs there. And if you think it doesn't, well, then you should focus on love. That should be the one that you are zeroing in on, I assure you. But just consider this for a moment and why we're doing this, why we're looking at this. Why is this a lesson? Why is this a message? Why is this a podcast episode? Again, and I've been saying this for almost 5 years now through this podcast, and even longer than that in my keynote talks and my messages that I give all over the world every single week, and in coaching and in corporate training. Hey, we are creatures of habit. We have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and almost all of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday. We are built on programming and paradigms, and most of those programming, those areas that are programmed within us, I should say, and those paradigms, which are habitual behaviors, most of those are centered around things that we don't want to experience, right? So, what is better? Here's my point. What is better to affirm, I am so happy and grateful. I am filled with love and I radiate love to all those I meet and greet. Is it better to fill our mind and fill our consciousness with that, repeating that all day long like a broken record, or to fill our mind with worry, doubt, fear, and constantly repeating, I'm not going to make it. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not going to hit the sales quota this month. See, that's what we do. That's what most people do, unless you're success motivated, unless you're prosperity motivated. That's what most people do. It's the habit of the mental paradigm, the thought paradigm, happening over and over and over again. That's why I encourage you to take each and every one of these: faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, renunciation, which is elimination, right? Identifying what we want to eliminate, knowing that that's a power we have, and brushing it away. Life itself, and life itself can be affirmed through ceaseless thanksgiving, through forgiveness. We look at our mental faculties of memory, of intuition, of reason, of perception. You know, those, the will and imagination, are like superpowers because they're like mental faculties and they're spiritual qualities. So each and every one of these go through and form some affirmative statements. Put them in a spiral notebook. Put them in your smartphone. Record them. Go through every single one of those so you can have these as a go-to when you notice. This is part of awareness, is noticing what you're noticing. When you notice that your habitual thoughts are once again tipping the scale over to the negative side of things. When you slip into worry, into doubt, into fear, into negative thought patterns, into thinking all day long about what you don't want, because that's what worry is, right? Worry is really praying for what we don't want to take place in our lives because we're constantly thinking about it. Our thoughts are things, our thoughts are prayers. When it's a dominant thought, we tend to move into a different emotional state when that dominant thought is on the negative side of the scale, when it's about something we don't want. So we move in life affirming, character, spiritual quality affirming characteristics that are all part of our very nature. I like to call it our divine nature, that pure essence of us that is whole and complete, that we're made of. and affirming these things in our life. I can draw on divine wisdom each and every day and move through every single one of them. I'm so happy and grateful I can paint a new picture of the life I would love to live using the power of my imagination. I'm so happy and grateful the power of my will gives me the ability to focus on the task at hand, and I focus my will on consistent daily efforts that move me closer every day to the life I would love to live. Every single one of these. I'm so happy and grateful I can pull from understanding, infinite understanding, that which I need to know to complete the task at hand. Now, what's better? Affirming those, having those in your consciousness, or the thoughts of worry, doubt, and fear. That's the whole point of this exercise. And on it goes. And do the same thing with your memory. Look up memory exercises, Google memory exercises. All these we can develop within ourselves. Intuition, knowing that which is instinct in the animal is intuition in the human being. You can develop this. We all have this. We all have this sense. The reason is really the ability to look at some of these superpowers you have, the relationship of one to another, and then to evaluate that within that we're experiencing without, right? Reason is our ability to do that. I'm so happy and grateful that I use my power of reason to discern whether a reaction or a proper response is appropriate here. So, all these things are so supportive of the life we would love to live. And I just invite you to move these into your experience and your thought patterns, form these, take them again, each and every one of them, and build an affirmative statement that's your own. Make it your own. Don't necessarily take one that I have shared here, and I've rattled off a whole bunch of them over the last few episodes. Don't necessarily take one of mine unless it really, really resonates with you. You have to feel it. Just to write out as an affirmative statement, that's the other part of this, that you don't feel, that there's no emotion as you're writing it and stating it, doesn't have a whole lot of impact. Not as much impact as one would have. The repetition will have an impact, but it won't have as much impact to really influence your vibration and frequency as one that you really feel the emotion into. And each one of these, since they're inherent within you, you can feel into it. You can know just by going down the list, aha, yeah, that one is not resonating with me. So that's probably the one that you want to work on. Remember in the beginning when I told you to make the list of everything you wanted to experience in your life and make a list of it and then step away from it and then come back to it the next day and add to your list everything you want to experience. What is your big dream? Taking your imagination off the shelf. Well, it's the same way with these. I invite you to go back at your list back then, read it over after a few days, and see which one really kind of makes your hair stand up. Which one would really get you excited and scared at the same time. And I said that's probably the goal that you want to work on, the big dream goal, the one that you have no idea how, but has been knocking at the door of your consciousness your entire lifetime and you've been ignoring it. That's the one you want to go after. So it's the same thing with these. You make the list of these. I'm going to give them to you again before we wrap up today. And just notice what resonates with you in which direction, on the positive side of the scale or the negative side of the scale. I might move through these and you might say, yeah, I am wise. I have plenty of wisdom. Well, don't confuse knowledge with wisdom and knowledge and wisdom with understanding. You got to kind of sort those out for yourself because don't forget we have this knowing doing gap that that we have to deal with in our lives. Most of us know a lot of stuff, but we have this gap when it comes to applying it in our lives. There you have it. You work on that one. You work on the knowing, you work on the understanding, you work on the wisdom, right? So notice which one, as you go down the list, which one really is calling your attention. It's that intuition, that inner knowing that's calling to you. Hey, You need to pay attention to me. You need to work on me and start building your own affirmative statements. Get a little notebook and just do this for all of these powers, all these qualities that you have, and just notice the change in your life. Share the changes with me. I'm going to give them to you again here. One I really want you to focus on, we've been focusing on one or two each and every episode of this show. One I really want you to focus on is that zeal, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm really makes the difference in everything we do. Everything we do. You have to bring that level of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, means the spirit within. Remember Spirit Day in school and in high school and pep rallies. Spirit, it's to raise the spirit, to bring out the inner excitement, the inner zeal. It's in there. It's in there. Get excited. You should be excited because we're talking about going after the life that you would love to live. We're going after the life you would love to live by identifying all the things that have kept you stuck in the past. And most people don't know this. Most people don't know that they're found in our paradigms, they're found in our programming. So we're learning new habits of thought that we can apply to our life and make a difference, make a quantum leap, make a radical personal transformation in how we're showing up in the world. So pay attention to that enthusiasm. Zeal. Enthusiasm makes the difference. I love an old book I got a long time ago. I don't even know if it's still in print. Norman Vincent Peale, Enthusiasm Makes the Difference. So you can find that, pick that one up. But enthusiasm, zeal, and bringing it, just, write affirmative statements in your life. Write down what you're excited about. Affirm that. I'm so happy and grateful I get to vacation just it shifts your thought, it shifts your vibration, it moves your emotional state, whether you're thinking about a vacation or getting a project done. Pay attention to the enthusiasm and try to infuse it into every area of your life. All right, let's write these down. All right, faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, order, zeal, elimination, life, memory, intuition, reason, perception, thanksgiving, forgiveness, and then add in your own. Maybe as you go over these, you will notice something else that's coming up for you. There's probably subcategories under all these, like love. Maybe there's compassion, right? Maybe you could move forgiveness up to love. Arrange them however you want. Notice that these are all aspects of what you are, and they can all be developed, they can all be exercised and help you to grow and move in the direction of not only the life that you would love to live, but live a joy filled and fulfilled life each and every day. Maybe put joy on the list too, because that's the highest vibration that you can experience. So we're going to wrap it up, but I want to let you know that we're wrapping up this series on these superpowers. If you want to talk more about these, because you're not going to hear this stuff in every coaching circle or consultant circle. I've spent a lot of time on all of these, and I'd love to help you with that, whether it's for you as an individual, small business, in the corporate environment, in corporate teams, in the boardroom, customer service, whatever it is. Reach out. Let's have a discussion of where you are and where you want to go. And we'll talk about why you're not there yet, what has been getting in your way. And I'll help you develop a plan to move from where you are to where you want to be. These are all free calls for my listeners, so don't hesitate to reach out. Just reach out by going to successappointment.com. Successappointment.com is simply my calendar. It'll show up in your time zone. Pick a time that works for you, and we'll have a conversation. Want more information about everything that I do as far as workshops, keynote speaking, and all that? Go to successocean.com. We train on over 100 different topics, soft skills, successocean.com. Go in there and check it out. or just go to the website. Check it out, the website for the show, thegenesisfrequency.com. If you're one of those ready to make a change and you want to move into an independent lifestyle using only your computer and cell phone, working anywhere in the world, get used to working remotely, now you want to go it alone, go be on your own, but not alone, I should say. Go to successocean.biz and learn a little bit more. I just posted a new video in there recently. Learn a little bit more about the wonderful world of being an entrepreneur. So check that out. So we're going to wrap up this series right here and now. We're going to wrap up this episode right here and now. And I just want to let you know, this is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina, wishing you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.